Hey there guys, Outlaw Dolphin here, and we're going to begin our second chapter into Dragon Age Inquisition, and we are going to be returning, or continuing rather, with the Hinterlands. Okie dokie, so we've just spoken to Mother Giselle after clearing out some rogue templar and rogue mage activity. Our first point of order is going to be to speak with you don't have to speak with Corporal Vale. He'll just tell you what the people need. What I prefer to do is actually if I go to journal, I'm going to remove the threat remain so that that one doesn't pop up. What we're actually going to do is speak to the people around the village, and we're going to gather our quests that way.
You there? Can you help my wife? Please, I beg you.
What's wrong with your wife?
What's wrong with your wife?
She gets sick when the weather's foul. Can't catch her breath, like cobwebs in her lungs. Our son Hindle makes a potion that lets her breathe. He's the only one who can make it, but he's joined that cult in the hills. Please, get to him and tell him what's wrong. Without that potion, she'll die.
Okie dokie. Just going to grab this landmark here. These are just points of interest throughout the land that have certain parts of lore tied to them. The next... So you'll find each quest mark as it has this explanation point marked. The next guy we need to speak to is a hunter.
That's the last of the bread. Going to be a long, hungry night.
What's the problem?
These people need food.
There are rams out in the hills. Good eating, cooks easy, and no lords around to kill you for poaching. Too dangerous to go hunting now. More likely to find mages than monks.
Good luck.
Luck won't go fat on your ribs.
And then if we head further down the path, this is one that can be easily missed if you're planning to do the area to the southeast. If you complete all the missions to the southeast and then you stumble across this guy over here,
Of course. Cold weather coming.
tad annoying.
Where are their coats?
The people are cold.
What do you need to keep these refugees warm?
Blankets, warm clothes, all of it. These poor sods lost everything when the mages and the templars went crazy. If we were in a village, I could just pinch a blanket off a clothesline and be fine. Out here, I'm sure the apostates have plenty of supplies, just haven't been able to find them.
Farewell.
I'll see you.
There you go. So the one thing that I am going to do is that if I head to my inventory where I have Staff of the Dragon, if I could examine that and compare that to the Acolyte Ice Staff, I'm going to switch. Forgot that I had it. It's just a little bit more damage. Just a teeny bit.
What did I tell you?
And it looks cool. So all the quests that we've picked up so far are going to take us round this area of the map. Cult in the Hills, the Elements, and Seeing Red. I think there are two. I thought there were two parts to Seeing Red in this area. Either way, we've also got a couple of rifts, and sure, let's speak with Corporal Vale just to get him out of the way. He'll also Corporal Vale will also give us information on Master Dennett as well. He's this dude up on the hill.
You're with the Inquisition. Corporal Vale, thanks for your help. The mages and templars don't seem to care who gets caught in their war. The refugees here are in dire need of help. If the war doesn't kill them, cold or starvation will.
Tell me about the Templars.
What can you tell me about the Templars?
All the Templars were called to Val Royeaux not long ago. These bastards ignored the order. Now they're killing rebel mages, along with any refugees they think are mage sympathizers. Every Templar I've ever known has wanted to protect the common folk. These men defile their order's good name.
And tell me of the mages.
What can you tell me about the rebel mages?
The real rebels are up north in Redcliffe, dug in and taking care of their own. The ones out here are just apostates, locked up in the circles all these years, and now they've gone mad with power. The rebels in Redcliffe have washed their hands of them. I wish we could do the same.
And tell me of the Horsemaster.
What can you tell me about the man who's supposed to be getting horses for the Inquisition?
Horsemaster Dennett. He lives on a farm to the west. Tough old fella. We haven't heard from him. Best we can tell, he's holed up until the mages and Templars are done killing each other.
Farewell.
And you as well.
So there we go. Our Threat Remains quest has updated, saying to travel to Val Royeaux, and we need 4 power to do that. We only have 1. Now, fulfilling each side quest gives you 1 or 2 additional power, so do 2 or 3 side quests and you have the power to travel to Val Royeaux. What we're actually going to do is all the side quests, and I'm not going to travel to Val Royeaux until I've spoken to Horsemaster Dennett for convenience sake. Saves me coming to the Hinterlands 2 or 3 more times than I actually have to. This is just a way of just getting one part of the Hinterlands all done in one swoop, so that once we've gone to Val Royeaux, we can then continue with another part of the land. And for this part, depending on its length, I may skip ahead until the end. But we will be hunting ram. Only wish I could kill them quicker. There we go, so ram meat. Each kill should give up 1 piece of ram meat for the quest. You will see Templars and mages fighting all over the place, so be careful not to stray too close to them. You'll notice animals on the radar for they will almost always be a light blue symbol for a light blue dot. Unfortunately, there are also fennec in the area, which is a little fox type kind of creature. So if you follow a blue dot but don't see anything, it's probably a fennec. Ram. There we go. It's always the 9th one that gives me the trouble. Because you hunt so much, you actually have to wait for them to spawn. So there we go, so we've completed Hunger Pangs. We can now return to the hunter, but as per our convenience, we're going to continue following this road up and round and then back towards the village. By the time we've done that, we will have collected the supplies, done Varric's quest of seeing red, or at least one part of it. It will all work out. If anyone wonders, I'll show on the map where this little squiggly line here that shows my trail. This is specifically the area where you have to hunt ram. You cannot hunt ram anywhere else in the Hinterlands to get the ram meat for the quest. So like, if I went back to Haven and started killing ram there, there's no chance of them dropping ram meat. It's only within this area. It's annoying, because you just think that, well, any ram would drop ram meat and just be, you know. So we have a mage over here who's going to probably die in 1 hit. He's been fighting Templars.
The apostates have fled to the hills.
And here we have apostates in Witchwood. So I already knew where this place was. It's not the mages that have retreated to Redcliffe. The mages that were attacking the crossroads were coming from Witchwood, which we will deal with in a moment. You will see
What is that?
these items here called Asteriums. They're little puzzle side quest things. Same with Ocularums, which I'll show you in a moment. I did do all of them once in a playthrough, not a playthrough, in a solo play. Well, when I did my grind of the game last year. I will not be doing them again this time, just because they're so time accumulative. They will add, the Asteriums and the Ocularums alone will add, to me, probably another 10 or 15 hours to the playthrough. As I want to treat this fairly casual and just maintain the story, I will not be following the Asteriums or Ocularums. They only really give you... The Ocularums can be useful, but they're not something I want to follow up this time around. These dogs are tough. Anything you see with a skull when you click on it is something that's really above your level. These Mabari hounds are one of them. They are a rare occurrence, but they pop up every now and then. So here's another tier 1 metal, and there's another hound in the cave. The metal that we just picked up is a metal called Drakestone, which, much like, if you use iron on armor, it will give you melee defense. If you use it on something like a staff, it will give you
It can't properly be called
electrical damage.
It's a free-for-all. Mages
Or-
against Templars against everyone.
Or it will improve your melee attack if you put it on something like a sword or a dagger. Drakestone, if you put it on a sword, will give you armor penetration. If you put it on a weapon, it will give you armor penetration. If you put it on armor, it will give you constitution, so it will give you more health. It's a very useful metal if you're a mage and you just want to literally have health to the nines. It's something I might go for, not particularly in Drakestone. I know a lot of other metals that can give more constitution based stats, so we might hold on for them. So we're just following the pathway now. The Hinterlands is a big area, but it's full of valleys and ravines, so it's not too easy to get lost here. Just have to deal with a lot of rebel mages. We're going to level up in a moment as well, which will be useful. And then my companion should not be far behind me. So here we have another quest. If we loot this body here, there is a letter. I know you're frightened, but the light in the sky shouldn't scare you. It's the eye of the Maker finally coming back to take the faithful to the Golden City. Leave your father's servants and come up into the hills, away from the pointless fighting between the Templars and the mages. Let me introduce you to Speaker Anais, and she'll explain everything, and we'll be together and happy, waiting for everything to be right in the world. Your love, Lord Behrend. So Lord Behrend has invited his love into the cult in the hills, and she has become a victim of the civil war, or the mage war. As you can see, there is a chest up there. Just have to do some rock climbing. None too difficult. But chests like this are easily missed, and they are everywhere. So now we're at Dwarf Sun's Pass. There's no hostels in front of us, but on the other side of that fallen cliff edge, we will find a rift, which will give us another brief tutorial on how rifts work. So this rift here just is probably one of the easiest rifts. Rifts do get harder as you level up. So this one is just wraiths and lesser terrors. Not too bad. Terrors are probably annoying just because they can go into the ground and teleport underneath you and stagger you. The more of them there are, obviously the more annoying they get. Wraiths aren't too bad, they just attack from a distance. And there we go. I wasn't paying attention. But you're not going to stagger me. Chain lightning would be nice. These are the only two we have to worry about. There we go. Closing, you don't have to close rifts everywhere you go. They have two uses. One, it's a quick way to gain power and influence in a land. Also, when you loot them, am I lucky here? No, I'm not. But lightning essence, so you get rune material for destroying them, for closing them. You'll get rune material. You'll often get large amounts of a metal, like depending on which area you're in. I've been somewhere like Hinterlands or Crestwood, and a rift has given me something like silverite and everite and like real good metals and materials. So it's a good way to harvest materials for weapons, armor. There's no real reason not to do it, really. It's just the repetitiveness of constantly fighting demons. There we go. So we've come across another cave here. This one is protected by a ward. Which quest do we have in here? We have In the Elements, Seeing Red, and Open a Vein. So there's 3 quests in here. So we're going to check this out. This blue ward is constructed of ice magic, so anything with fire is the best way to deal with it. You can use ice magic to dispel ice wards and vice versa, but it takes so long. I've done this with such a weak character one time. The barrier was regenerating like quicker than I could destroy it. There we go. So we have a mage hiding in the darkness. He has been summoning demons that serve him, so he's clearly done some blood magic. That's him dealt with. This is also this mine here is also full of more Drakestone, so there's no reason not to pick it up. It all helps. So you'll notice that each one piece of Drakestone gives us a random number of material that we gain. So I've accumulated a lot of 2 pieces of Drakestone from every 1 piece I mine. Oop. There was that piece I saw earlier. There we go, so we're going to mark the cache.
More supplies for Recruit Whittle.
We have this dwarf down here.
Red lyrium. Whoever this dwarf was, he was in over his head.
So the reward we got from that dwarf was for Varric's crossbow. And now all the team can level up. There are plenty of ways to destroy lyrium, as it says the icon. You can get Cassandra to do this. It's just appears to be that her presence as a warrior just destroys it. Other times what I'll probably likely be doing is just using a fireball or something like that. It just makes it seem more awesome, and the actual fact that I seem to be doing something. There we go, so I just leveled everyone up. I've given myself a new ability. This one is useful. It becomes more useful with its additional perk. It's just fun because this, although it's in the lightning tree, it uses the element that your staff is using. So if you have an ice staff, it will shoot ice projectiles. If you use lightning, it'll be lightning projectiles. So it follows suit. It's a good ability for dragon hunting, as just doing that. Like if I fight an ice dragon, fire will do the most damage to it. Doing this will slowly do the job, whereas this will quicken that speed up, and I've just attacked the wildlife in every possible manner. But all the materials help. There we go. So our next place of interest is that castle up on the hill. This is where the cult is. Let me just check that I've not missed anything. In the elements, shallow breaths and love weights. So yeah, that is our next destination, provided I don't get stuck between rocks and walls. There's a chest underneath these stairs. Scout mail. A lot of these schematics I will have gotten from the Golden Nug from other characters in other playthroughs. A ram is taking the stairs. It's fairly eloquent. There you can see we have another chest just poking out. Shield and money. There's also a sack just here full of cotton. Before we enter the cult in the hills, there is just something going on over here that will interest anyone who wants agents. Who wants agents for... Oh, let's kill them quick because they've already killed her. Jesus.
How'd you like that, assholes?
Scout Ritz.
I should probably report back.
This is a mage.
Eldreda, yes. I think that was her name. At least I'd heard other apostates call her that.
It looks like someone was having a picnic.
Yes. The mage must have been hunting for blood magic. The Templars attacked the apostate. I suppose I just got caught in the middle.
You mixing your
So,
words up
the
there?
truth. I may have been, passing time with Eldredda.
I take it the Templars interrupted your very friendly picnic.
Wait. Yes. At first, she was just a mage who saw me and didn't attack, but later we... So, are you going to report me?
I'm going to defer on Varric for this one.
Look, kid, if you can talk an apostate out of her pants in the middle of a war, you've got a gift. Use it. Make contacts, get information, and help the Inquisition. Do that, and our lips are sealed.
All right. I can do that. And thanks for going easy on me.
So although she was an Inquisition scout, we've now recruited her as an agent. Hiring agents will allow the likes of Liliana, Cullen and Josephine to do their side quests quicker as well.
We must have done enough to draw the attention of the clerics by now. Shouldn't we meet with them?
Actually, we haven't. Normally he says that when we have reached it. Man, Solus is... We'll have enough once we finish the quests here.
The Maker has torn open the sky.
When the demons have cleansed the unworthy, the faithful will be lifted up.
I know you. They call you the Herald of Andraste for what you did at Haven. But are you? The Maker has not told me.
I am the Herald of Andraste.
And do you claim to hold power over the rifts the Maker has opened in the sky?
I can seal rifts, yes.
Then prove it. Show me that the rifts bend to your will, the will of the Maker. Show me the power you wield.
What does your cult believe?
This cult? What are you doing out here? What is it you think is happening?
The Chantry has fallen, and shown its imperfection in doing so. The Chant of Light was a lie. It was arrogance to think that mortal lips could frame the Maker's will, and so we wait in silence. The Maker has opened the sky. Soon he will call his chosen back to the Golden City.
Until later.
Until the Maker brings you back to us.
My reasoning into playing a religious character for this playthrough...
I suppose it only natural that some would turn to worshipping the breach, if only in hopes of appeasing it.
Is there are a few reasons for doing it. One, I've never done it. I've never played a religious character, so this is new for me, as well as simply just having something new for the channel. But also on the fact of the story of which Dragon Age Inquisition is made, you can get a lot out of this game by being a... If you want to get the most out of this game, be a female elven mage. That's all I'll say about that. But the fact that I've never played a religious character also makes me believe I can get more out of this game of its understanding, considering its implications for the next game, if there is to be a Dragon Age 4, which I have to imagine BioWare will be working on. There's no reason why they shouldn't. So we're going to find another collectible here. These ones are bottles. Lord Baron should be here. There he is. Sometimes you find him inside. He wanders about a bit.
While you were coming up, did you meet a young noblewoman with blonde hair and pale green eyes? Lady Velena should be here. We need to be together when the Maker comes.
She didn't have blonde hair or green eyes, but Lady Velena is a name that we have come across. We found her body on the hills just on the way down here.
This letter, Velena is dead. But we were meant to be together. The Maker would not keep us apart. What am I supposed to do now?
You can have a go at him. Sometimes I have, just because I know that from a personal perspective I would never tell a loved one to run through the middle of a battlefield. We can get him to join the Inquisition, and he will become an agent for Cullen.
The Inquisition needs men who believe as strongly as you do. Come and help us restore order.
Yes. If waiting here in the hills leaves innocents to die, then I will bring the Maker's word by the sword. My men and I will lend our strength to the Inquisition. Thank you.
Okay, so now we must deal with a couple other things here. We also have to pick up the potions from Heindel here. He's in that tower just there. What I want to do first is this rift down here. This is what Speaker Anais wishes us to close to prove our Herald of Andraste-ness. And nope. And I just ran into something else entirely. Nope. I don't know why terror demons love coming under and attacking the mage so much. Oh god, two of them were going to do it there. Oh no. Oh. Two of them attacked at the same time. I dodged those two, and then the third one attacked me. That was unfortunate. But the third one did not have a lot of health, so it didn't take me that long to kill it. There's a chest in the corner there. And more lightning essence for lightning runes. Runes is something you can only really make once you get to Skyhold, so you can always accumulate a lot before you get there. Okie dokie, so now Speaker Anais will want to speak to us. Come on.
Maker's tears. I was a fool to have doubted you. How may we serve you? Herald of Andraste.
We can do a lot of good here. By convincing these people to follow us, we can tell them to listen and gather information, turning them into spies. They'll spread word of the Inquisition. What I want to do is actually help them to ask the refugees. They're in large number here. The majority of them are mages as well.
Have your people help the refugees.
As you say, Herald of Andraste. Some few will remain here. The rest will go forth to do your will. When the Maker calls you to your great purpose, remember that we served you.
Indeed, thank you. Considering that that the one thing the people need around here are healers. So it definitely helps. Mages can be healers, it's not just the alchemical sort. And we will now speak to Heindel, who is on the floor above us. You might see me picking up a lot of books and notes. It's because reading every single one of them gives you small pieces of XP. I'm only going to read the important ones, ones that are mission related. If I read all of them, we'll be here for some time.
I greet you. My name is Hindle.
Hindle, your mother can't breathe. Your father sent me here for potion.
What? She was fine. She hasn't had the breathing trouble in... All right, I can help. Here, I have some already made. Go, take it to her now.
Here we go. So I did miss something out on the edge of the outside one of the supplies for recruit Whittle. So it should be to my right. Yeah. So we're going to go out and grab that, and then work our way back. It's always I always forget one of these apostate supplies because I don't look at the map so often. Just because I know where their location is, I just forget. It's not even that far away.
More supplies for recruit Whittle.
Like you can see where Ritz is over there. You can see how close it was. There we go. So there's a chest here. Although not every item is important, every item that we pick up from a chest costs gold. So it's every item at this moment is helping us. We're just going to pick up this.
A templar, I believe.
Elendra, I don't know how this will reach you, but with the last of my strength of my shaking hands, what else could I do but write? Whether it be magic of this cursed breach, or the Maker punishing me for abandoning my vows, the end is coming. The terrors are with me more often than not. I came up here to try and find some peace with these believers, but the platitudes they mouth are cold comfort. If my mind falls to the demons, or my own darkness, I fear that even a weakened Templar will cause too much harm. I took a draught of bitter herbs. It will be over soon. I wish my weakness had not stopped me from meeting you with your phylactery. I knew just where you were, but the madness of your side and mine was too great a gap. Make us save you, stay safe. You need no circle if you carry it within you. Love, Matrin. So Matrin was a dead Templar who was carrying a mage's phylactery. Phylacteries. A phylactery is a vessel, often a glass vial containing the essence of a magical being. The Circle of Magi and the Chantry use small phylacteries filled with blood, taken from apprentice magi to track down mages that turn apostate, to flee the wrath of the Templars. Before an apprentice passes his harrowing, his phylactery is kept at his home circle tower. Phylacteries of first enchanters are stored in the White Spire, an Orlesian circle, and the Templar Order stronghold. Vials belonging to legal, yet powerful and controversial mages are kept in carefully hidden caches in remote locations. For anyone but a member of the Chantry, tracking one down is all but impossible. Quite literally, like trying to find a needle in a hay farm. So they use these phylacteries like how you would use anything for a bloodhound to use, to smell, to follow trails. We have some such mage's phylactery on us, and she is in the crossroads. So we will take that to her at some point.
We could make camp here.
There we go. So I'm going to do exactly what Cassandra said. I'm going to make camp here.
Of news, sir.
No. With each camp, they restore your health, and they also restock you of these potions up here. Not these ones. These ones you have to manually do that, but these ones automatically resupply with each camp that you create. Backing out of chests will do that. There we go, so we have a worried scout over
Excuse
here.
me, have you seen another Inquisition scout? Elven woman, answers to Ritz.
Yeah, I rescued her.
I found Ritz and rescued her from an attack by the Templars. She's fine.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time. It's dangerous out here for everyone. I'm glad the Inquisition is trying to put things right.
I walked past another apostate cache.
More supplies for Recruit Whittle.
There we go, so now we only need to find one more.
Thank you again for rescuing Ritz.
Templars.
Some time since the renegade Templars faced a mage of any talent.
So here we're faced with another rift. This one's mostly just wraiths. There is another way of dealing with all the demons that come out of rifts, and that's to disrupt the rift as they're all here. But considering wraiths will almost attack anything without threat assessment, they'll just randomly attack anything. Any form of stagger as you're doing this will knock you out of it. So it's best to only do it when you're fighting the big stuff that will.
Crossbow is remarkable, Baron. I am surprised the dwarves have not made more of them.
The woman who made Bianca would rather that not happen. Wars are bloody enough as it is. A crossbow that fires this far and this quickly, with so little training, every battle would be a massacre.
Indeed. I am surprised, not disappointed.
So here we see that there's a shack on this hill that has been set on fire. We quickly see that the Templars are the cause of fire, and I think there's only one reason we can determine why they would set a shack on fire. And I love the conversations that the characters have. Like you heard Varric and Solus talking about crossbow, or his crossbow in particular, and it just adds a certain. They're really attacking around. It just adds so much depth to the game, and plus it makes having lots of different characters come with you.
Here, let me try.
There we go, so only rogues can pick locks, so that'll be Varric this time around. There are certain doors that require a specific perk to open. Some of the doors you try to open will say require deft hands and specific tools, I think. That's a perk from Liliana, which we will look to pick up. It just takes a couple perks in her specific tree to get there. So over here we find Crystal Grace. Crystal Grace is normally in the Emerald Graves. It's always nice to pick this one up. I think it's the only one in the Hinterlands. In this specific area of the Hinterlands, definitely.
More supplies for Recruit Whittle.
Now we found all of Recruit Whittle's supplies, so we can now return to him. There we go, so my next stop is to get this camp here. This camp here is useful for something a little bit later, but we're just going to run and grab that. There'll be one rift in our way. We'll grab that campsite and then we'll return to the crossroads and we will complete these quests down here. Yeah, here we go. This is probably the most annoying rift for me. This one is full of shades. Shades tend to congregate on one target. So you can get swarmed if you're not spread out or protected. Just kind of found that one there. Him. Shades do tend to not like fire so much, so that helps. But with each wave is progressively more demons. Once again, more wraiths and more shades. There we go, so the more powerful we get, the easier this will become. Whoa. Solar's just got exploded into the air. There we go, so there we go, 19 iron and lightning essence. So this has just severely increased the metal that I have in store. So all the iron that I've not farmed on the way up here has just, you know, has all of a sudden just been compensated in one rift. You can get rifts that will give you like 20 lazurite and 19 everite and something like that. It's just so useful if you don't like to constantly farm for material. go. So we got shield boiler. There's another one. Best to get behind him, that way every single one of our attacks can do something to him. Oh, he's stuck on the cliff edge. Okay, so... Are we still in combat? Oh, there we go. So the next camp I want to get to is just on the right hand side of that shack. My reasons for getting this campsite now as opposed to later will become apparent the second time we visit the Hinterlands. It just speeds up the process of doing something later. Saves me having to load in somewhere else and come here. You have to come here specifically for a reason which we'll get to shortly. Well, not shortly, possibly in the next video. Where is it? It's just down. Just down here. Ooh, bit of a drop. Okay, so I'm going to pick up this. This is a map. We're not going to follow it. These maps are...
This would be a good place to set up camp.
All the maps that we pick up can be a little bit tough to follow.
This might interest you, sir.
The Hissing Wastes, an area much later into the game, is my explanation of this. I've tried following these maps even here in this area, and it just doesn't work for me. Okay, so that's as far as I want to go. We can continue to push on in that direction. We won't, because that's for much higher characters. Much higher level of characters. So these Ocularums here, they're also much like the Asteriums, which we found here. They're just puzzle, side quest kind of things that will take us a lot longer than I wish, than I intend to. I'm just going to fast travel back down into the crossroads.
Fine day to you.
There we go. So now we're going to do the run of completing, of telling people, oh, I've done your quest.
What did I tell
Do you want your potions? Do you want your meat? Come find me. Is he in his shack? No, he's not. He's round the back. Hiding.
Do you have the potion?
There you go.
Here you go. The potion and instructions on how to make it.
Silas bless you. Or the Maker. Or whoever. It doesn't matter. Just thank you. I'll give it to her right away. If ever I can help the Inquisition, you have my word.
Good day.
May God be with you.
So Cassandra and Solus both approve of that action. And the hunter.
Mages, templars, bandits, demons. Making it hard for a man to hunt for his supper.
There you go.
Here, maybe this will help.
It more than helps. With this, I can fill these hungry bellies. Give these folks some hope. I didn't think much of the Inquisition. But no one else is helping like you lot. Maybe I was wrong.
And recruit Whittle.
You all right, sir?
Maker's breath. If I were back in the city, I could just steal some blankets.
I found some of the apostate's supply stores. I can mark the locations for you.
I'll get out there myself with a few men and pick them up. This will keep a lot more refugees alive next time it snows. I appreciate it.
There you go. So we've completed the quests that take us to the southeast area of the map. Well, no, we haven't actually. Elandra is just up on the hillside. This is the woman that we need to give her phylactery to. You'll find it in a shrine just up here on the hill.
I have heard stories about you, Herald of Andraste. I am Enchanter Elendra. I hope you find a way to end this foolish war.
There you go.
I believe this is your phylactery. I found it on the body of a dead Templar named Matron.
Ah. I suspected he died when he did not join me or send word. Maker curse the fools who started this war. And the fools who now fight it. Thank you. Matron was important to me. Here, for your trouble.
You can ask her to join the Inquisition, but you need specifically Vivienne, who is a companion that we get a little bit later. So there's no point in asking her this now. So we're just going to bid goodbye.
Thank you again. It is better to know.
And there we go. So, having completed those quests, we can now move
What do you need?
through this. I don't really know what to call it. A fort, a gate, or a cave is just a little bit beyond me. What I might actually do first, though, I'm going to cut out this bit. I'm going to go to the merchant who's in the middle of the town because we're full up on items and such. Here we go. So once you walk out into this area, this is where you're going to literally walk into...
The apostates have gone mad with power.
The Templars aren't looking any better here.
There are Templars and mages everywhere. They will attack each other, and they will also attack you. Trying to get through this area quietly is damn near impossible. My target is that fort off in the distance. It's not so distant that it's impossible to get to, just impossible to get to without bumping into stuff like this. Oh my lord. I really am dividing myself from my backup. Chandler's in a little bit of trouble as she keeps stepping on ice mines. Where did bugger go? I wish that I could teleport like that. That's probably why I always take the Fade Walk perk. Because I want to be able to teleport, but I can't, so I use ice to get around instead.
I spy with my little eye.
No.
Oh, come now, Seeker. I'm just trying to be friendly.
Try to be quiet instead.
When you brought me along to talk, perish the thought.
So you will find Witchwood in that direction. That's where the apostate stronghold is. You'll find the Templar stronghold further down the road. I already know the location, so we'll run across it at some point. But first we need to come in here as part of Varric's quest. In here we find another red lyrium deposit for Varric to destroy, and we will destroy it thusly. I just love that me and Solus are back to back. firing all sorts. There you go, so Templar encampment, that's given us the location for that. Okay, so we'll take this mosaic piece. This is a collectible. You'll just see it on a wall somewhere in Skyhold at some point. And there we go. That just seems more impressive to destroy Red Lyrium. And Varric approves of all of the deposits you destroy. So that definitely helps if you want to make Varric your friend. I think for Hasting and Varric both being from the Free Marches, I think that must make them friends already. Okay, so we're going to deal with the apostates in Witchwood first. There will be a rift in our way. Go, so that's the first wave done. Chances are we'll have 3 more lesser terrors to fight. Yep. One is frozen, one's going to attack me normally. And there we go. And now comes my first reason to take a potion. I think as one attacked me, as one went to attack me and I went to dodge it, I ran into another terror's melee attack. I think that's the only reason why I got some help there. There we go. That's the thing about the Fade Step ability. For me, it works as a dodge. If you're dodging away. Make no mistake, this isn't Dark Souls. There are no dodge frames for it. There are no iframes, no invincibility frames for it. So if you actually dodge it through, if you actually use Fade Step through an attack, the attack will hit you. What have we got here? Got a little bit of everything. We've got mages and templars. Me, so I'll just go Fade Step through him. That will freeze him for some time. I just love how there's a body. I just love how there's an actual body in that ice spike. Like he's been here for a long time. Now you'll see these cell swords about. They're actually protecting the mages. As plenty of mages are nobles. Well, you have mages and templars who are both noble, but they're just buying their defense. When he's dead, his ice mines will disappear. I can pick up his loot, and there's a location here. You shouldn't really miss the mages in Witchwood, because yeah, magic goes on here. It is well defended, and there is a high level boss. Well, not a high level boss, a high enough level boss in this cave to give you some amount of trouble. we're really racking up the kills today. As you can see, it's protected by an orange ward. That is a fire ward. And, oh my god, more stealth wards. And I'm nearly about to step into an item. Where is it? Right behind me. Just gonna run around him. Where'd he go? Dead. I'm also leveling up quite quickly as well, which is very fortuitous. I didn't think if they'd stepped into it would work so quickly. There we go. So take this slowly. If you go in too quickly, there is a mage at the back who will rough you up pretty handedly. It's pretty iconic as he will use fire attacks. So we'll attack from a distance. Chain lightning should rack them up pretty well. They seem to have congregated into a small group. And we will want to get this done before Cassandra passes out. We only have 4 more potions left. I have to change that on the tactics. They'll leave. Companions will leave 2 potions for you specifically. I normally take that down so that they just use what they use, as I don't really use the potions that much. I tend to use my own. Is this the one here? No, this is a needy guy. And the one I wanted. Bad. Or was that him? Oh, that might have been him actually.
The King's Road should be safer.
You'll know because you'll have specific stuff. There we go, the Wrath of Lovius, so that was him. He was taking all 3 of them to beat down on him. And I've leveled up again. Here we'll find some onyx. These doorways here, they are here for a reason. These doors are linked to the Asteriums. So if you complete the 3 Asteriums that are in this area, this door will unlock and you'll have some pretty nice loot behind it. But completing the Asteriums in the Hinterlands aren't that difficult. But obviously, much like everything else, the more you do, the harder it gets. So yeah, I just gave Solus the Wrath of Lovius, the pickup that we just got off one of the mages. We are now going to run to the Templar encampment. You'll find once you start to take out the strongholds in the area that this particular area that was full of the madness earlier will immediately begin to calm down. You'll probably find just Templars from this point on until we deal with their encampment. Yeah, there's plenty of defences as you work your way through to get to the Templar stronghold, so it's kind of like you're on a trail, you got the scent, it's that kind of a deal. If you're playing a mage, probably one thing, if you're just like, oh my, every time when I fight as a mage I lose health really quickly, that kind of a deal. Probably the only thing that's attacking you, the one thing that I get attacked from about 80% of the time, are archers. Sometimes you'll have rogues with daggers sneak up on you. They're not your main problem. It's literally, I've literally fought against Red Templars who can decimate me with one arrow. So ranged defense is something that you want to work on as a mage. I know that's tough considering ranged defense comes from leather, but when you add modifications to your armor, that's the best road. That's the best road to go down, to give yourself some ranged defense, as you're always mostly far away from most enemies in the fight. Ranged defense will also protect you from distant spells and demons as well.
So, who do you think is the toughest? Josephine, Liliana, or Cassandra?
I'm right here, you know.
That doesn't rule you out, Seeker.
Cullen's not up for consideration?
Curly, they just keep him around to look pretty.
I love Varric. He teases Cassandra so much.
The Templars have secured a position ahead.
And get away from me. There you go. So so this is the Templar encampment. It has much the same defenses as the other one, just except for no ward. It just has more people defending it. There is also kind of like a mini boss. He's just behind me. But first, we're going to loot the hell out of this area. And this guy over here will also have a particular weapon on him that I will give to Cassandra. It's just an odd one. It is a sword, so it helps. And this guy's just getting peppered with everything. And there is a little secret that I'm going to show you that is given away by... its location is given to you by a map, I believe. But following the maps in this game is more than a little bit tough.
Safer on the King's Road now.
There we go. So the Swedish fingers is just a sword. Pay no attention to the colour, like blue, purple, yellow, that sort of thing. As that's game standard these days. That's how you know stuff is better than the others, by the colour. It's not so much of a thing in Inquisition because yellow, which is traditionally the best colour in most games, is custom made weapons in this game. and trying to sell them does not accumulate a lot of money. There we go, so map to the waterfall. In here we collect iron bark, which is used for masterwork, which is something you do when you get to Skyhold. So it's just 20% chance of a 10% increase of the stats when you make something. You won't be able to use these until you get to Skyhold. It's like how Dragon's Tooth is a 40% chance of 10% increase in stats. There is an item called the Essence of Perfection, which we get a lot later into the game, which is 100% chance of 10% increase in something's stats. So yeah, it's an added boost. It can help out a lot later into the game, so best to keep it for that time. And finally, we will be able to get to Horsemaster Dennett. We will be able to talk to him, and we will be able to figure out what we can do to help him. Actually, let's just go up here first. There's another dead dwarf up here. I don't care how many demons and apostates are in that area. The package was lost somewhere on the river north of those farms. Follow the river and find it, or we'll find you. I think they found him. This gives you the location. Oh, hello. There's a dwarf there. This gives you the location of dwarven armor. This whole mission is Carter related. So it follows Varric in particular. It gives you. Well, I say it follows Varric. It helps if you're a dwarf because it gives you pretty good Carter armor. I just give it to Varric because I've never played a dwarf. He's the only dwarf that I've ever had in Dragon Age. I tried being a dwarf once actually, and
the breach may have driven them mad, or perhaps a demon took command of the pack.
And it just wasn't working out for me. It's just not my thing. It's great if you're a warrior because they can't be mages, and I like doing mages. Oh yeah. So the quest in the top right hand corner is search the river for the package. We'll head up there after speaking to Master Dennett.
I suppose this must be Master Dennett.
And here is Master Dennett.
So you're the Inquisition, eh? Here you're trying to bring order back. High time someone did. Never thought it'd be a mage, though. Redcliffe's had enough trouble with magic already. Name's Dennett. I served Arleman for 30 years as Horsemaster. I hear your Inquisition is looking for mounts.
I can't remember if Dennett pops up in Origins. Those events took place 12 to 15 years before Inquisition. I can't remember if he popped up at all. Considering he says he served Arleman, and you do talk to Arleman in Origins. And you haven't helped us.
Is there a particular reason you're making me come here to ask you in person instead of just sending them?
As a matter of fact, yes. I can't just send 100 of the finest horses in Ferelden down the road like you send a letter. Every bandit between here and Haven would be on them like flies on crap. You'll have mounts once I know they won't end up as a cold winter's breakfast.
I'll agree to your terms, but first, you have a problem with me?
If you have a problem with me personally, I'd like to know about it.
What? Because of what I said about mages? All the trouble magic's causing around here might well take a mage to fix it. That's all I meant. My wife Elena manages the farms and Bron's in charge of my guards. They'll tell you what they need. Until then, you deserve something better than whatever knock-kneed plow-neg they gave you. The chestnut over there is a purebred Ferelden forder. Take care of him, and he'll take care of you, Inquisition.
There we go. So now we need to speak to his wife and his guard. We'll take the horse that's over there later. It's not important right now. I hardly ever use the mounts in this game anyway. They're a bit clumsy.
I heard what my man said. If you want our horses, then we need our farmers back safe in their fields. Since the breach appeared, the wolves have gone mad. They come after our men like beasts with the water sickness. You deal with the wolves, and our farmers will be safe again.
Tell me about these wolves.
How are these wolves acting differently from normal?
Normal wolves go after livestock, but come at them with a torch and a blade and they run. These beasts, though, it's like dark spawn during the Blight, or when the dead rose to attack us. They're possessed, or something like it. I've lost too many men to the beasts. I won't endanger more.
Farewell.
Good day to you.
There we go. So she wants us to take out a particular bunch of wolves. And now we will speak to Bronn.
The Master doesn't want me handing those refugees weapons until they've got any hope of defending themselves. If you put up a few watchtowers, we'd all have more warning before the next attack.
What do you want me to do?
You said you had a way to help the refugees.
I do. There are too many hills in these parts, good places for raiders and bandits to gather. I've marked good spots on the map. You set up watchtowers there, I'll talk to the Master and get your people weapons.
Okie dokie.
Farewell.
So there we go, guys. That's the end of Hinterlands Part 1. There are just 3 small tasks that require a matter that are more or less all in the same place. I will handle them in the next video, and then we will be able to head to Val Royeaux. Once we've headed to Val Royeaux, we'll then return to the Hinterlands to finish off the rest of matters there. So the next video will most likely be Val Royeaux plus Hinterlands Part 2, and we'll have some new companions with us after Val Royeaux as well. So yeah, I'm going to end this one here, and I will see you guys in the next one.